Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my desk where I show a toy, talk about it, and that's it. This review is on the most recent member of the Autobot sub-faction, the Dinobots, Snarl. A figure that I actually never expected to be one of my favorites. I think some of the reasons as to why are A, the split tails, over here, you can give it a better look, they give him this really epic silhouette. B, the numerous fins right here, here, and on the legs, that the Stegosaurus is famous for spreading that gold paint throughout the whole body. And it's subtle enough to be different, but the eye-catching red chest and grey limbs tie him back into the group. And finally, C, the use of yellow plastic for both stego and regular feet, as well as the head. As you can see, bits of it poking through. Currently, this yellow plastic can only be found on him and him only. I know it's a bit divisive, people saying it's a bit cheap and stuff like that, but I feel like with the amount of plastic that's been painted, as well as the amount of silver paint used on a certain accessory I'll be showing later, I think it's fair enough. Besides, it's good to not overdo that gold paint. And on the topic of that, I do like how the inner head right over here has been painted to blend in with the legs. It's really nice. But you may ask, why not do that for Grimlock? Well, most likely it's due to the budget because, well, all the other things that needed paint were preoccupied. And maybe it's due to this gap over here being eye-catching enough, so if this wasn't painted, it would just be really, really weird. So at least they removed one distraction. Now, a thought did pop into my mind while playing with Sludge for his review. They look like brothers. Here's Sludge himself next to him to help with visualization. Think about it. That color scheme and the placement of it is very, very similar. All the limbs have grey on them, their thighs are black, their red torso with a black part in the middle, and the top part is where the Autobot badge is. The limbs having this similar chunk factor to them, with Sludge's one being slightly thicker in both arms and legs, although the legs one is actually quite close, with him slightly winning out. The head being mostly black but with silver face, and the fact that they have this weird thing right over here that Sludge has painted, only Sludge has painted, their head protrusions. Now obviously there are differences like the aforementioned protrusions, but siblings do have some similarities with each other, but are, at the end of the day, still different people. So my headcanon is that both of them are brothers, with Sludge being the older one because, I don't know, his face looks like someone who is older and his looks like he's younger. I guess that's just me. Headcanon aside, Snarl has possibly the best accessory out of all the Dinobots so far. A sword. An actual sword! It only took 4 retail releases to get one. Oh well. It is painted really, really well, and it looks good, and its posability just elevates it. I mean, look at that. Isn't that just awesome? Speaking of articulation, it's on par with everyone else. You got your head, you got your arms right here with like everything you need. Wrist swivel as well, because that's universal at this point in time. And the legs are basically limitless, and they are really satisfying as well to move. Ooh. Although there is one difference that I can note is that for elbows, he can bend to this much due to transformation because his entire arm turns into a leg in a more interesting manner compared to all the others. That's sort of about it, so I think it's time to move on to transformation. Right, that transformation might have looked hard, but it really isn't. The only reason why it's hard is because I was doing it on camera, so it gets a bit awkward because I'm having to transform it further away than I normally would. Now the transformation itself, the rear leg conversion, which is this part right over here, is the most interesting part of the whole process because this is just fold that out, plug it in, fold the tail in, that's it. And I guess the hands turn into the rear stego legs as well. But that's all of it. But overall, it isn't bad. And the same can be said for the weapon storage. You'll see these two bits right over here. Go underneath, you can see these two tabs, and you just simply have to plug it in, and there you go. You have your weapon storage, and it's not bad. It's quite nice. It is just chucking it under him and just calling it a day, and you are sort of bending the sword slightly, but at least it doesn't stick out really, unlike sludge. The stego mode is, of course, a brick. Yeah, he does have limbs, but again, they are doing the bare minimum. The front ones can just only do this and just, move it around. The rear legs, as for some reason all of them are, were the hands before that, so normally you would expect, some outward movement, but it's only this way, because that's where the hinge is. Yeah, so really you're only getting this much, and that. And that's it. Although you can't forget about the opening mouth. All Dinobots need one. And yeah, mine unfortunately has a misaligned logo, which I can live with. I am fine with the articulation that we have because honestly, I actually don't expect much articulation out of animal-based Transformers. A complaint is, well, this tail is in a really weird position. It feels a bit awkward. It can't move around, that's fine, it's understandable. The alternative probably would have been a floppy mess in robot mode. You also really can't do much with the head other than, well, making him talk, I guess. But that's fine, it's due to the way it's being engineered. Overall, he is a chunky, lovable brick, just like the rest. Now, I did write in the script that he actually never appeared in the movie at all. That's a lie. He appeared for like 5 seconds, or like 3 frames at least. So it's very interesting that he got an 86 toy even though he only had like 3 frames in the movie. That means he basically didn't show up in the movie. I mean, yeah, Sludge was a background character, but he did have some memorable scenes, or at least one memorable scene. Of those few frames of Snarl, I never remembered seeing them at all. I can't remember them. I guess because of those 3 frames, he's technically in the movie, so he can technically get himself a Studio Series 86 Leader Class toy, which I guess is quite nice. Also, I think another reason, probably a bigger one, is that they're gonna do most of the Dinobots. Might as well include him. Don't get me wrong, this thing is really good. Definitely worth the price. Although, his inclusion is really stretching it. So does this mean that we'll be getting protoforms soon? Movie 07 protoforms? I don't know how well those will sell, but you never know. If they can make one for, I don't know, Mohawk, like they can do one for anything, I guess. I do hope for a DevCon, that's one thing I would like. He basically had more screen time than him. Small tangent over, my final thoughts are worth it. Just worth it. Yeah, thanks for watching. I hope to see you another time.